Good evening, everyone. It's an absolute honor to be here with you today as we stand on the brink of a new chapter, a new world where women are no longer constrained by the rules others have set for us. And trust me when I say 2025 is the year we break free. For too long, women have been told to conform to a certain image of niceness, to smile, to be gentle, to always be accommodating. Society has conditioned us to believe that our value is tied to how pleasing we are to others, how much we can suppress our true selves to fit into a mold of what it means to be a good woman. But what if we decided to break free from that mold? What if we stopped trying to conform to an image that doesn't truly reflect who we are at our core? The pressure to fit into the narrow confines of societal expectations has caused many women to bury their authentic selves deep inside. We've been taught that being loud, assertive, or even emotional is unacceptable, while being quiet, passive, and agreeable is the right way to be. Yet, in this process of pleasing others and suppressing our true selves, we lose our sense of identity, and in many ways, we lose our power. To truly empower ourselves, we need to embrace our authenticity. This means embracing all parts of ourselves, the parts that society may deem too bold, too outspoken, or even too ambitious. When we embrace authenticity, we give ourselves permission to be real without the fear of judgment or rejection. We let go of the need to constantly be liked or validated and instead focus on staying true to our values, beliefs, and desires. Embracing authenticity is about showing up in the world as the woman we are meant to be, not the woman others expect us to be. It means honoring our emotions, acknowledging our strengths and weaknesses, and standing in our power with confidence. It means rejecting the notion that we must always be gentle, calm, or nurturing. We are allowed to be assertive, to take up space, and to speak our minds. In fact, the world needs us to do so. The more we stand in our truth, the more we inspire other women to do the same. It's time we stopped measuring our worth based on whether we are liked or accepted. Instead, let's measure our worth based on how true we are to ourselves. Authenticity is not about perfection. It's about embracing our humanity, flaws and all. The world doesn't need more nice girls who shrink to make others comfortable. The world needs women who are bold, confident, and unapologetically themselves, regardless of the expectations placed upon them. When we embrace our authentic selves, we open the door to a new kind of power. The power that comes from self-acceptance, from shedding the weight of societal judgment, and from being unapologetically real. We stop living for others and start living for ourselves, and in doing so, we create the space to thrive. Being authentic is not just a personal choice, it's a revolutionary act. It's a declaration that we refuse to be defined by anyone's standards but our own. And when women everywhere embrace their authentic selves, we can transform the world one bold step at a time. For centuries, women have been conditioned to prioritize the approval and validation of others, often at the expense of their own needs, desires, and beliefs. The idea of being liked, of being agreeable, accommodating, and always pleasant has been ingrained in us from a young age. It's as though our worth is directly tied to our ability to make others comfortable, to fit into a mold that pleases the people around us. But what if we challenge that notion? What if we stop basing our value on the opinions of others and started living for ourselves instead? People pleasing, often driven by the fear of rejection or conflict, keeps women in a constant state of self-sacrifice. We bend over backward to avoid confrontation, to keep the peace, and to be liked by those around us. We say yes when we really mean no, hide our true feelings to avoid upsetting others, and suppress our dreams to accommodate the expectations of others. This behavior may seem harmless on the surface, but in reality, it's a form of self-betrayal. We lose sight of who we truly are, and we rob ourselves of the chance to live authentically. The truth is, being liked is not the goal. It's impossible to please everyone, and trying to do so only leads to frustration, burnout, and a deep sense of dissatisfaction. When we focus solely on being agreeable, we lose the strength to stand firm in our beliefs, to challenge the status quo, and to make choices that align with our true values. Instead of seeking approval, we should be seeking self-respect. When we prioritize self-respect over external validation, we shift the power dynamic. We stop allowing others to dictate our lives and start taking control of our own narratives. Rejecting people pleasing doesn't mean we become rude or unkind. It simply means we recognize that our worth is not contingent on others' opinions. We stop subordinating our desires, dreams, and boundaries to accommodate the needs of others. It means learning to say no without guilt, to express our true feelings without fear of judgment, and to stand up for ourselves when our values or beliefs are challenged. Standing firm in our beliefs is a form of empowerment. It's a declaration that we value ourselves enough to make decisions that align with our true essence, even if they are uncomfortable for others. This might mean setting boundaries with people who have taken advantage of our kindness or distancing ourselves from environments that don't support our growth. It's about trusting that we are worthy of respect and that our feelings, desires, and dreams matter just as much as anyone else's. When we reject people pleasing, we embrace a new kind of freedom, the freedom to be unapologetically ourselves, to take up space, and to live life on our own terms. We give ourselves permission to make mistakes, to learn, and to evolve without constantly seeking external validation. It is through this rejection of people pleasing that we find the courage to lead with our hearts, make bold choices, and pursue our goals with confidence, knowing that our value is inherent, not dependent on anyone else's approval. For far too long, society has equated strength with perfection, this unrealistic idea that we must be flawless in every aspect of our lives to be considered strong, capable, and worthy. We've been told that strength looks like having it all together, never showing vulnerability, and always being in control. But this idea is not only limiting, it's also entirely false. True strength doesn't come from perfection. It comes from our ability to rise, to learn, and to evolve despite our imperfections and mistakes. Perfection is an illusion. No one is perfect. And yet we continue to chase this unattainable ideal, thinking it's the only way we can be respected, valued, or successful. We've been conditioned to believe that we must meet a certain standard to prove our worth. And in doing so, we suppress our authenticity and deny ourselves the freedom to make mistakes. We fear failure, and so we become paralyzed by the idea that if we aren't perfect, we aren't good enough. But in reality, perfection is not where strength lies. Strength is about resilience, the ability to keep going even when things aren't going the way we planned. It's about having the courage to fail, to stumble, and to learn from our mistakes, knowing that each setback is just a step toward growth. Every time we fall, we have the opportunity to get up stronger, wiser, and more determined. That is true strength. Strength is in the ability to embrace our imperfections, to acknowledge them, and still keep moving forward. When we let go of the need to be perfect, we free ourselves from the suffocating pressure that holds us back. We allow ourselves to be human, flawed, messy, and beautiful in our imperfections. In fact, it's through our imperfections that we discover our greatest strength. Our mistakes are not signs of failure. They are lessons that shape us into more capable, compassionate, and resilient individuals. They help us develop empathy, perseverance, and the wisdom to navigate life's challenges. The most powerful people I know are not the ones who've never faltered. They are the ones who have faced adversity, who have fallen and gotten up time and time again. Their strength comes from their ability to embrace the messiness of life, to accept themselves as they are, and to keep pushing forward regardless of what others may think. They are not defined by their mistakes. They are defined by how they rise after each one. We need to stop judging ourselves for not being perfect and start recognizing the power that lies in being real. It's our flaws that make us unique, our failures that give us the grit to keep going, and our imperfections that make us human. Perfection is a myth, but strength is real. And it's found in the ability to keep showing up, to learn from our mistakes, and to rise again with renewed determination. When we embrace our imperfections and mistakes as part of our journey, we allow ourselves to step into our true power. We don't need to be perfect to be powerful. We just need to be willing to be ourselves, to be resilient, and to keep moving forward no matter what. For far too long, society has defined success in narrow external terms: fame, wealth, status, and the approval of others. We've been taught to measure our achievements by how they appear on the outside, how they are acknowledged or celebrated by those around us. But what if success isn't about outward validation? What if true success is about something much deeper, about growth, fulfillment, and the positive impact we create in the world? Success should never be about conforming to the expectations of others or chasing someone else's definition of achievement. When we base our success solely on external markers, we fall into the trap of constantly seeking approval, constantly striving to meet standards that may not align with our values or desires. This kind of success is hollow, it's fleeting, and it leaves us feeling unfulfilled, no matter how much recognition we receive. The problem is, when we measure success by how others perceive us, we lose sight of our own journey. We forget that success is an evolving, personal experience that is unique to each individual. True success is about personal growth, the constant evolution of who we are, what we learn, and how we develop as human beings. It's about setting goals that align with our values, pushing ourselves to become the best version of ourselves, and having the courage to take on challenges that help us grow. Success is not about reaching a destination, it's about the process of becoming, of learning from our experiences, and of expanding our capacity to face adversity and thrive. Every lesson we learn, every challenge we overcome contributes to our growth and is a marker of success in its own right. Another critical aspect of success is impact. Success is not just about what we accumulate for ourselves, but about what we contribute to the world around us. It's about the positive difference we make in the lives of others, the relationships we build, the support we offer, the change we spark in our communities. True success is found in the way we uplift others, in the legacy we create through our actions, and in the way we inspire and empower those who come after us. It's not about how many accolades we receive, but about how we use our voice, our resources, and our talents to leave the world better than we found it. Fulfillment is the final piece of the puzzle. Success is not just about reaching external goals. It's about feeling a deep sense of contentment, purpose, and joy in the journey. It's about waking up every day feeling that we are living in alignment with who we truly are and what we truly care about. Fulfillment comes when we pursue passions that ignite us, when we honor our dreams, and when we live in a way that brings us joy and peace. Success that is grounded in fulfillment is success that truly matters. It's sustainable, it's meaningful, and it's a reflection of our deepest desires. By redefining success to focus on growth, impact, and fulfillment, we shift the focus from external validation to internal satisfaction. We no longer measure our worth by what others think of us, but by the progress we make within ourselves and the difference we make in the world. Success becomes a personal journey unique to each of us, one that allows us to live fully and authentically. It is about becoming who we were always meant to be and using that power to create a positive ripple effect in the world. In a world that constantly demands more of us, whether it's from our jobs, families, or social circles, it's easy to forget the importance of taking care of ourselves. We're often conditioned to think that caring for others comes first, that we should always be available, always be the helper, the listener, the fixer. But in this rush to be everything to everyone, we often neglect the most important person in our lives, ourselves. Self-care and boundaries are not luxuries or selfish indulgences. They are necessary acts of self-respect that allow us to show up fully in every area of our lives. Self-care is about recognizing that we are worthy of love, attention, and nourishment, not just from others, but from ourselves. It's not just about taking a bubble bath or treating yourself to a day off, though those can be part of it. Self-care is about ensuring that our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual needs are met, even when life feels overwhelming. It's about checking in with ourselves regularly, acknowledging when we are drained, and making intentional choices to restore and recharge. When we prioritize self-care, we honor our own well-being and we create the space we need to be our best selves for others. In a society that often praises hustle and productivity, it can be hard to accept that we need time to rest and rejuvenate. We live in a culture that rewards constant doing, where taking a break is seen as laziness or weakness. But true strength comes from knowing when to slow down, to say no, and to allow ourselves to pause. Without proper self-care, we risk burnout, resentment, and losing touch with our inner peace. We cannot pour from an empty cup, and by neglecting our own needs, we end up with little to give to the people and causes we care about. Prioritizing self-care means recognizing that we deserve the same level of care and attention we so willingly give to others. Equally important are boundaries. Setting healthy boundaries is not just about saying no to others, but also about saying yes to ourselves. Boundaries are the lines we draw around our time, energy, and emotions, ensuring that we are not giving away more than we can handle. When we allow others to overstep our boundaries, we sacrifice our peace, our time, and our well-being. Boundaries are a form of self-respect, a declaration that we value our own needs as much as we value the needs of others. It's about having the strength to say no without guilt, to protect our energy without explanation, and to prioritize ourselves without fear of disappointing someone else. Setting boundaries can be challenging, especially when we've been conditioned to be accommodating or to avoid conflict. But when we don't set boundaries, we end up overcommitting, feeling drained, and eventually resenting the very people or situations we've said yes to. Healthy boundaries create a space where we can protect our peace and ensure that we are giving from a place of abundance, not depletion. Boundaries also help to foster mutual respect in relationships. When we communicate our limits clearly, we allow others to understand and respect our needs, and we also create space for them to set their own boundaries. Prioritizing self-care and setting boundaries are acts of empowerment. They allow us to take control of our lives, to protect our energy, and to ensure that we are always showing up as the best version of ourselves. When we take care of ourselves, we are better equipped to show up for others. By setting boundaries, we protect our peace and well-being, allowing us to thrive rather than just survive. These practices are not selfish. They are necessary for a healthy, fulfilling life, and they are a reflection of the love and respect we have for ourselves. For generations, women have been told how they should behave, what roles they should play, and how they should conform to societal expectations. From the way we dress to the way we speak, we have been conditioned to fit into a narrow definition of what it means to be a woman. But now more than ever, it's time for us to challenge these outdated norms, to redefine what it means to be truly powerful, and to create a legacy of change, one where authenticity, confidence, and assertiveness are not only accepted, but celebrated. Redefining societal norms begins with breaking free from the limitations that have been placed upon us. Society has long conditioned women to be passive, to be agreeable, and to shrink in the presence of others. We've been taught to put others first, to prioritize others' needs over our own, and to silence our voices for the sake of peace. But this narrative is no longer acceptable. It's time for us to redefine strength on our own terms, to embrace the power in being unapologetically ourselves. Authenticity is the foundation of this change. For so long, women have been pressured to fit into a mold, whether it's in our careers, relationships, or public life. We've been told that we must conform to certain standards of beauty, behavior, and success. But our true strength lies in our ability to show up as we are without fear or hesitation. Authenticity is about embracing our unique qualities, our passions, and our voices without apology. It's about rejecting the notion that we must be anything other than our true selves to be worthy of love, respect, and success. Confidence is another critical element in creating a legacy of change. Confidence is not about arrogance. It's about self-assurance, self-respect, and knowing our worth. When we are confident, we trust our abilities, our decisions, and our judgment. We are no longer afraid to take up space, to voice our opinions, or to stand firm in our beliefs. Confidence allows us to push through challenges, to break through barriers, and to show others that we are capable of achieving anything we set our minds to. It's the driving force that enables us to reject the limitations society has placed on us and to create new possibilities for ourselves and others. Assertiveness is the final piece of the puzzle. Assertiveness is about being clear and direct in expressing our thoughts, feelings, and needs, without fear of judgment or backlash. It's about setting boundaries, making our voices heard, and standing up for ourselves when necessary. Assertiveness is not about being aggressive or domineering. It's about speaking our truth, owning our space, and commanding the respect we deserve. When we are assertive, we show the world that we are not willing to settle for less than what we are worthy of. Together, authenticity, confidence, and assertiveness form the foundation of a new kind of strength for women, one that is grounded in self-respect and personal power. By embracing these qualities, we can create a legacy of change that shifts the way society views women. We can pave the way for future generations of women who feel empowered to live their truth, to pursue their dreams without fear, and to redefine success on their own terms. This legacy is not just about changing the world around us. It's about changing the way we see ourselves and each other. It's about creating spaces where women are celebrated for who they truly are, not for who they are expected to be. It's about building communities where authenticity, confidence, and assertiveness are the norm, not the exception. And it's about ensuring that the next generation of women knows that they are powerful, capable, and worthy of all the success and happiness they desire. So I say to you today, no more nice girls, no more hiding in the shadows of others' expectations. We are here to be seen, heard, and felt. We are here to make a difference. Let's step into our power together and create a world where kindness and strength are not mutually exclusive, but two sides of the same coin. 2025 is our year to shine. Let's make it count. Thank you.